What is the integral of cosine 2x dx? How can we find the indefinite integral of that expression? We need to use something called u-substitution. We need to make u equal to the angle of cosine, that's 2x. And then we need to find du, the derivative of 2x, that's 2 dx. And then let's solve for dx. So if we divide both sides by 2, dx is equal to du over 2. Now we need to replace 2x with the u variable, and we need to replace dx with du divided by 2. So we now have the integral of cosine u times du over 2. Now let's move the constant 2 to the front. So this is equal to 1/2 integral cosine u du. Now what is the antiderivative of cosine? Now this is something you just have to commit to memory. The derivative of what trigonometric function is cosine? The derivative of sine is cosine. So the antiderivative of cosine is sine. So this is going to be 1/2 sine of u plus c. And now at this point you can replace u with 2x. So the final answer is 1/2 sine 2x plus c. Now I'm going to show you a general process that will help you to integrate sine and cosine functions if the angle is a linear function. So we saw that the integral of cosine 2x dx was equal to sine 2x divided by 2 plus c. Now what do you think the integral of cosine 3x dx is going to be? It's going to be sine 3x divided by the derivative of 3x, which is 3. And it's always going to work like that if this is a linear function. If it's quadratic or cubic, it won't work. As long as you divide it by a constant, it will work. So for example, the integral of cosine 4x dx will be sine 4x over 4 plus c. Now what about the integral of cosine, let's say 7x minus 5? What is the answer for that? Well, it's going to be sine 7x minus 5 divided by the derivative of 7x minus 5, which is 7, plus c. So let me give you some other examples. Go ahead and find the integral of sine 6x dx, and also 4 integral secant squared 9x plus 3 dx, and 5 the integral of 5 secant 3x tangent 3x. Try those problems. So what is the integral of sine? The integral of sine is negative cosine. Remember, the derivative of cosine is negative sine. So the derivative of negative cosine is positive sine. So the integral of positive sine is negative cosine. Now the angle, 6x, will stay the same. And then we need to divide this whole thing by the derivative of 6x, which is 6, and then plus c. Now let's try another example. What is the integral of secant squared? The derivative of what trig function is secant squared? The derivative of tangent is secant squared, so the integral of secant squared is tan. Now we have a 4 in front, so it's going to be 4 times tangent, and then we're going to keep the angle the same, 9x plus 3, divided by the derivative of 9x plus 3, which is 9. And so this is the answer for the second example. Now let's work on the third one. The derivative of what trig function is secant tan? If you recall, the derivative of secant is secant tan. So this is going to be 5 times secant, And notice the angle is the same, 3x. So this is going to be secant 3x, and the derivative of 3x is 3. So we're going to divide this by 3, and then plus c. So that's how you can integrate basic trigonometric functions.